and you're watching SQL Bootcamp for Data Professional. And as part of the topic one, so we'll be discussing about DDLs. So you might have heard about the DDL when it comes to the SQL. So DDL, DML, DCL, right, and DQL. So these are the different set of commands. So the commands in SQL are categorized as DDL, DML, DQL, and DCL. And in this particular video, we'll be discussing about what exactly the DDLs means, right? And the full form of DDL, as you can see, it's a data definition language. And what it does is in SQL, basically it defines the structure for the database. So when we say database, it's not just about creating a database. You can create the tables, you can create the stored procedures, triggers, alter them, delete them. So basically, DDLs are something to do with the structure of the artifacts or structure of the entities in the database, right? And before proceeding, if you are new to this channel, we would recommend you to please subscribe and also press bell button for instant notifications. So let's get started. Right. So SQL DDLs. So SQL DDLs basically the basic DDL is create, and then you have alter, you have drop, you have truncate, and you have rename. So these are the SQL DDLs that you can see, which will be used with a combination of different, like if you want to create a table, if you want to create a index, you create stored procedure. So you can do create is not just about creating a table, right? You can create a number of artifacts using create. In a similar way, you can alter the table, you can alter the column, right? You can alter the stored procedure, you can alter the trigger, etc. So it's just about these are the basic commands, and you can use these commands with different entities in the database to do certain operations which will impact the structure of the those artifacts, right? Let's see one by one, starting with create. So create is one of the DDL, so which will be impacting uh, the, the so using create basically you can create a new database object. So it might be table, it might be view, right? So what are the different objects that you can create, right? So you can create table, database, schema, view, etc., right? So this list might not be exhaustive, and this might not be applicable for all the SQL databases. Like suppose basic create table, create view, create database, create schema. So these kind of things will be applicable in irrespective of all what database you are using. So this will be applicable, but there will be few create tables might not work in like MySQL or PostgreSQL, etc. Right? So it depends on the database. Like there is a different databases, IBM, Vertica, DB2. So like we need to try it out and see which command works. But the basic commands like create table, view, create triggers, create stored procedures. So these definitely will work in all the syntactically. It will be almost same in all the databases. So next, if you see alter, so alter basically it modifies the existing database objects, like adding or modifying the columns, right, in the table, and adding the index. So you can add the column, like you can drop the column, you can add constraint, drop constraints if you want to make a column as a primary key, or if you want to remove the column as a primary key. If you want to make a column as an identity column or a surrogate key kind of thing. And you can also alter the index which is created, you can alter the view which is created, you can alter the sequence, you can alter the trigger, store procedure, users, roles. So it is not about showing the list here. So you need to understand what exactly alter is doing here. So alter is basically modifying something which is already existing, which is impacting the schema or structure of the database artifacts. And when it comes to drop, so you want to drop means you want to delete a database object. Okay, so like if you see here, drop like drops the table and it drops the database, drops a schema, drop sequence, drop triggers. So you can basically do a lot of drops here, which actually drop the artifacts and delete the object from the database. So next you have truncate. So truncate is mostly will be used for removing the data, all the data from the or all the rows from the table. So that's the difference between drop table and truncate table, right? So drop table will literally physically delete that table from the database itself, and so when you delete a table, that means table physically also will be deleted, and for the obvious reason, the rows and the data which is there in the table is also lost. Here, when you truncate a table, so the table schema will still exist, but the rows or the data will be gone, but still the table as a schema or as a entity exists in the database. So that's the difference between drop table and truncate table. So next we have a rename. So you have a rename, you can alter, right? So you can alter and then rename, alter and rename columns, alter index and rename something. Basically, if you see, rename is mostly used with the combination of alter. So you want to alter trigger and then rename something, right? You want to alter role and then you want to assign some other role for a table, like for a particular role you want to change, right? So as you can see, like this is only applicable in Oracle, this is only applicable in MySQL, and this is only in PostgreSQL. So that again depends about the basic like table, column, index, view. So these four, right? So this will be mostly same, or syntactically it will be almost same in whatever database that you are, right? So next, let us see about practicals. We will jump to practicals and understand how exactly DDLs will impact the structure and skeleton of the database artifacts that we will be having. So as you can see, we are using SSMS. You are connecting to one of the local database. You can connect to any database of your choice, right? And once you have this, like we have a employee table. We want to create an employee table. So why we are creating employee table? Because we are having a create here. So which create is again one of the DDL that we want to demonstrate, which actually defines the structure of creating a new table, right? So as you can see, this is a schema, or this is a syntax of a create table, and you need to give the columns separated by comma, right? And giving all the constraint, whether it is a primary key and if it's a varchar, right? Whatever decimal points range you have. So once you have that, the table is created. Right? Similarly, you can create a view, like so I want to create a view on top of this employees table, which is already there. So I can pretty much create a view, right? However, you cannot create a view based on table or artifact which doesn't exist. So this table is existing, right? So if you do select star, you are able to list the data, or the data is not available, but if it is there, it will list. So on top of that, you can easily create a employee view. So you are creating that. And then you have a create index. So I can create a index on first name and last name, right? So let me try to create index here. So it has created an index. So what exactly index does is it improves the speed of data retrieval. So you need to understand based on what column you are reporting or you are querying usually depends on, right? So like let's suppose first name and last name are mostly used to retrieve the data from this table, so then it makes sense to create an index based on these columns. Right. So there are again different DDLs based on the create, right? So but you just want to demonstrate how exactly the create looks like, right? And rest others you can practice, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment section. So now I want to alter table employees and add an email ID in that column, right? Let us try to see and let us try to refresh now and see if the email ID column is added. The email ID column is added by using the alter. So similarly, you can alter the existing. So similarly, you want to alter a column. So currently, if you see the salary is decimal 10 comma 2. So we want to make it as 12 comma 2. So we can execute this, and after that just refresh this and see the column is actually 12 comma 2 now. And you can also alter and drop a column, right? So these are the basic operations, right? So you can drop the column, right? And you can alter and you can rename. So now let's move to the drop, right? So drop is again you can drop the table, right? So and you can drop the index that you created. So to drop the index, you can use this, right? So the like you don't have the table, the index is not there, so that is why it's just saying. But you can just do that, and you can do the truncate table also. Like instead of drop, if you truncate the table, so what exactly happens is it actually only the truncates the data, but the table still exists in this case. So that's how the truncate works, right? And if you want to rename the table, okay, so you can just rename table using this command. Okay, so these are the basic like commands where we've discussed create, alter, drop, truncate, and rename. Recap. So we just saw example of create table, but similarly you can do create of all of these artifacts where you create a database schema, sequence, etc. So you can try it yourself, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Similarly, we have alter table, but there are alter view, alter sequence, alter trigger, user, role, etc. We have drop, so you can use all of these drop elements here, drop commands here. And finally, for the truncation, you have table truncate, and the rename you can rename using can rename many things basically. As you can see here, the rename can be used for many things, not only just about renaming the columns, but index, view, sequence, etc. So hope this was useful, and request you to practice this by installing the SQL in your machine so that you will get confidence. If any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching.